Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about something pretty personal. It is not something I share with a ton of people, but now that I have a YouTube channel, I feel like the whole point is so everybody gets to know me and knows why I am the way that I am and anything I struggle with, things along those lines. So obviously, if you know me, you know cheerleading is a huge part of my life. It's been a big part of my life since I was about 10 years old, and it's my favorite thing to do. I coach now, I still cheer. Obviously, it's something that's always been really important to me. With that being said, even though cheerleading has brought some of the absolute greatest things into my life, it has also brought some of the worst things that I've ever gone through. And I definitely hope that I never have to go through anything as bad as this. So I make jokes about this stuff all the time because that's just my way of coping with things that are hard. I definitely don't think these things are funny. I don't think that the things I've been through are funny. But like I said, that's just the coping mechanism that I use. And this is honestly something really, really serious. And I feel like I definitely wanted to talk about it now because not only has it been exactly a year since I finally came out of this situation, but with things coming out in the news, especially within my sport, on almost a monthly or weekly basis regarding this topic, I just felt like, and if somebody watching it feels like they went through something similar or feels like something they went through they don't feel like comfortable talking about, I don't know, if this video helps one person, then I feel like I'll have done my job. So basically, I started cheering for my high school when I was a freshman, and I made varsity my sophomore year, and I had the same coach sophomore, junior, and senior year. Right before my junior year, someone else kind of came into the picture as far as the program goes. And this is a person who ended up getting really close to my family. He was at my house for team dinners and team bondings and my birthday party and all those kinds of things. I ended up getting really close to him and my coach as well. I always had a really good relationship with my coach, and I feel like when this person came into the picture, I only got closer with her. A few months into my senior year is when things took a really bad turn. The conversations switched from school and cheerleading to if I liked anyone, if I had a boyfriend, if I'd ever had a boyfriend, things that were pretty personal. And I think I shrugged all of that off because, like I said, this is someone who was a good family friend and he was trusted by my whole family at this point. So I didn't really see anything weird. Now that I talk about it all after the fact, there were a lot of red flags that honestly nobody saw, and I think that happens very, very often. At a certain point my senior year, things went from just messages to turning physical. I feel like when something like this happens to you, you don't know what to do and you don't know what's going on. I met this person when I was 16. And I will be 27 in a few months, and I only just got this person out of my life a year ago. It went on for a very long time. I was very, very manipulated, and every single thing I did, every move I made, every thought that popped into my head was circled around this toxic situation. Over the 9 years that this was happening, I lied to everybody that I knew. No one knew what I was going through. And I feel like a lot of that was, I was terrified. I was conditioned and manipulated to think that if people found out what was happening, everybody would blame me and hate me, as if I was the one who went after this person. A few years into it, I started seeking therapy. I knew I needed therapy because of how depressed I was. I knew I was depressed because of this situation, even though it was still going on at the time. But when I met my therapist for the first time, I had a 3-hour session. They're normally 1 hour. When I met my therapist for the first time, I explained to her what I thought was just a very toxic situation. After I told my therapist the whole situation, I remember her using the word groomed. I didn't really know what that meant. Like I said, when I went to the session, I was explaining a toxic situation that was making me depressed and all of these other things. I knew that it was wrong because of his age. I knew that it was wrong because he was dating someone that was very close to me. The main reason that it was wrong was because I was underage. I did not even think about that. That never even crossed my mind until my therapist said it. Because this person is still somewhat involved in my sport, it only got harder as I got older. Every friend that I have right now, I made because of cheerleading. Whether I coached with them or met them because of the gym that I work at, whatever the case is, everyone in my close circle, I met through this sport, so they all know the person that I'm talking about and they know of the situation now. And that was held over my head for a very long time, that every best friend that I had made was going to completely alienate me after they found out what was going on. So it went on for about 9 years, and a year ago, exactly a year ago, I decided that I couldn't take it anymore. And if the only threat was that I was going to lose everybody that I loved, I was willing to risk losing everyone if it meant that I was going to find myself again, because I used to be a very happy person when I was a teenager and when I was younger, and all of that completely went away. I became someone totally different. I was very pessimistic, very down on myself, very hard on myself, just unhappy in every aspect of my life. There were multiple jobs that I had, and I was in such a depressed state that I didn't even care if I had those jobs or not. I would no call, no show at work. I just wanted to be in a dark room and sleep for the entire day, every day, all the time. I didn't care that I wasn't making money. It got to the point where I quit a job abruptly once, and my mom didn't find out until a few weeks later when my portion of the rent was due, and she saw in my bank account that I couldn't afford it. So she had to cover my portion of rent. And my mom's a single mom, and my brother and I were helping her with rent so that she could afford where she was living. And I put my mom in a situation of needing to take more money that she didn't have to cover me when I was supposed to be responsible and mature enough to handle my own bills. When I decided to make the decision to completely remove this person from my life, it was right towards the beginning of when COVID came, and it only got worse. I thought I could just end things and that it would be done, or at least that's what I had hoped, and that is not what happened. This person texted me from multiple numbers. I had to block over 24 numbers, made fake social media accounts and started contacting my friends, texting me, threatening to contact all of my friends, all of my bosses, all of my coworkers, my family, threatened to contact athletic directors at every nearby school so that I wouldn't be able to get a job in the future. And eventually I needed to get the police involved because I was being harassed and threatened, and honestly, I was scared for my life. I still kind of am. So I went through the steps of getting an order of protection against this person. Now that I have the order of protection, I am still scared all the time. I'm on edge every time I run errands. I'm afraid that I'm going to run into him, and I'm afraid every time I walk into my apartment. I've had to block dozens on dozens of numbers and social media accounts because I know that he's just trying to keep tabs on me again. I even had to block one just the other day. So even a year later, even with a restraining order, this stuff is still going on. I feel like when everything was happening, when I was still in high school, I was really close to my coach and to this person, and I felt really important at the time. I felt really special that she would spend extra time with me. I didn't know at the time that my whole relationship with her was influenced by someone who was just trying to get closer to me. I slept at their house multiple times, and like I said, I was close to her even before he was in the picture, but a lot of the things that brought us closer, especially my junior and senior year, were influenced by him or were his idea. And I didn't know at the time that he was just manipulating the situation to see how far he could take it. He was at my house all the time, so my mom trusted him. So then eventually he gave me rides to practice if I didn't have a ride because my mom trusted him. And then I slept at their house. It wasn't long after I slept at their house that things took a turn. And I feel like that was the point where he realized that if he could get me sleeping at their house and that my mom trusted him enough to do that, there was more that he could get away with. And like I said, I felt really special that of everyone in the program, I was the one that got close to them. I had no idea what was going on. A few years later, I remember him mentioning that the times I slept at his house, I remember him saying that he wished he had made a move there. Even now, a year later, like I said, I'm still scared. I'm still kind of waiting for the ball to drop and always feeling on edge and like something's going to happen. But with all of that aside, I feel happier than I've ever felt. For 9 years, I was not myself. I didn't know who I was. I was just angry and depressed, and I hated absolutely everything about me. And I thought that was what I deserved. And with that person out of my life, I just feel like the biggest weight off of my shoulders. I'm happy. I'm doing things for me. I'm only doing things for myself. I'm finally putting myself first because I absolutely did not do that for almost a decade. Now that my friends know and my family knows and a lot of people know, I finally feel more comfortable addressing why I am the way that I am. I really lost myself for a long time, and I feel like the person I'm turning into now is who I was supposed to be. I'll always have those what ifs. What if I never met him? Like, where would my life be? Would I have started dating someone? Would I be engaged? I try not to think about that stuff, even though it's hard, because I know everything happens for a reason. I don't know what the reason for this was. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but I find myself a lot of times wondering why it had to happen to me. If I never had the group of friends that I have, I can guarantee that I would not have made it through this. I'm so thankful that even after knowing this entire situation, they're still by my side. And what I was told all those years of if people found out, they would completely remove me from their life, I'm so thankful to know that that is not what happened. And I feel like the biggest thing of people who have been in these situations is that you don't realize what you're going through while you're going through it. Like I said, I knew that it was bad. I knew that it was wrong. I knew that it was the reason that I hated myself and that I hated everything. But I had no idea that this person was only trying to get close so that he could get close to me and take advantage of me. And when my therapist told me that, it still took a lot of time for me to come to terms with it. At the beginning of this video, I said that I thought it would be really important to tell my story. Now that I have a YouTube channel, I really want everybody watching to really feel like they know me on a deeper level. And this is a very personal story, and I know that it's not a good one, and I know that this YouTube post is not going to be happy and upbeat like the other things that I've put on here. Now you guys kind of know a little bit more about me and why I am the way that I am. So that is the end of the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on. Bye.